Okay, can we start? All right. So, hi everyone. Assalamualaikum. My name is Leni and I'm from Indonesia. And it has been an honor for me to be a part of this good program and meet great people. And I also happy that we have male participants in our group. So hopefully in the next program there will be more males. So there will be like different ideas and different thoughts about the program. So we talk about gender and we talk about feminism, and I come from the country which is not very far from Malaysia, like Donna said, and which is I survive every single day. I'm a survivor. Like for example, yesterday my cousins got married, and half of my family turned on me and said, "When is your turn? When is your turn?" So I got like enough. Yeah, so it's quite difficult when you want to speak about yourself and when you want to speak about your values in life, when people will start calling you difficult. So that's what happened here. And speaking about the gender issues in Indonesia, so I will concentrating on my country because I'm not really sure what's happening in other country, but I think there will be not so much difference about this because gender and feminism is also like the common issues. And yeah, females are more likely to be victims in any kinds of victims. And the first questions that Lawrence asked about the genders, what is it, program or something like that. So I tr- uh, I'm trying to focusing on gender issue and how women should be a victims and how to give the help for a woman and something like that. So since that I teach victimology, and I can I can use those terms, and I can use those issue into my class in victimology. So that's one of the only way I can do right now, because speaking about curriculum, um, we will talk about the bigger issue here, talk about with the dean, the rector, the minister of education, and something like that. And also gender inequalities within the relations, and of course it's also happening, not only happens in the household, also in the workplace, and also the cultural or ethnic group, and also the weapon availability. Yes, in Indonesia we are not allowed to have our own handgun, but there is another weapons that can be used, to be a part of the crimes and make women become more victims. And cultural practices, yeah. So in Indonesia you are considered a beautiful woman if you are tall, thin, fair, and attractive. If you are not one of them, you are not beautiful at all. Yeah, so blame on the media. And if you go to Indonesia, 99% of the skincare is whitening. So this is ridiculous. And also, this is like happening every single day is the acute patriarchy. So it's happening every single day. I have to face it like, yeah, like that. And nothing is safe. I mean, like every places is not considered safe enough for a woman. Your home or family members and everything, and your workplace, like even in my university, even in my faculty, there is none one woman to become a dean or a rector. 100% must be a man. So I don't know, it seems like there is a certain unwritten laws that in this position, women like the highest like position in these positions, if you want to get higher, so you have to deal with all kind of negativity, and also with public place. Yeah. And no matter that you are wearing hijab or not wearing hijab in this country, if you objected to be the victim, so it happens all the times. And also for the healthcare or medical treatment. So there's still some discriminations against women, like women in certain age, women wearing certain style of clothes, and women something like that. And even also happened to me, since because that I'm not representing myself as a rich enough woman, so sometimes they treat me differently than other women. So if we speak about gender and justice, it should be equal. It must be equal, but we're still in progress right now. So there are still discrimination, and also the discrimination not only happen in our social life, but also in criminal justice system. Yeah, in criminal justice system, it's the significant obstacles to achieve the access to justice for all. For example, everyone, for example, the victim of rape, they force her to go to the police station in order to get her testimony or something like that, which is in our procedural law, there is no like certain, I read again and again and again, if the victim is not ready enough to go to the police station, why don't the police come to their house? I think it's still possible. Yeah, because as a victim, they are not ready to see other, and then they feel so embarrassed and something like that. And this problem is affect women, and and there will be many victims will never say anything about their situation, because they know they will be the, they will be the object of these conversations, because they will know, they will be like, oh, no wonder you got the harassment, because that your skirt is too short, because you are too girly, because you are too flirty, and it's always been the reason. And also become the witnesses is also not, it's not easy here in the country. The witness, we have this board of the victims of witness program, but it's only happened to the big cases. Yeah, and then the big cases where the national got the intention, yeah, nationally. But if something happened in certain areas, I don't think there is no witness protection at all. So that's the problem here. So yes, these people are exist, but we still need to work above the justice system. And I got this from the believeearth.com. So this is like how to promote gender justice in daily life. Sometimes it's quite difficult for me to speak up, sometimes is because I know my ability in speaking, if I, if I in not in the bad mood and everything. But while I'm giving these pictures to my students, and then I'm asking them about their opinion about this kind of pictures and everything, so it is my opportunity to digging their thought about these situations, about the men and women's role. And I use a lot of what is it, interactive teaching methodologies to teach about these gender issues, because if I teach only one way communication with them, they will not care. So the challenge is that I guess I can say that like more than 80% the male students in my classroom, they still very close-minded about the gender issues due to their parents, influence. So when I speak very open about this matter, so they need time to digest. But I don't give up easily. So I think I told you about this, Lauren. Few years ago, when I give a statement to my student, I said, is it possible for the sex worker to be raped? And 80% of the students say it's not possible, because if they work, yeah. So people concentrating on their work, not the essence of the doing. But then I'm so happy this year, the last 2 years, I gave the same questions to different students, and 90% of my students said it's possible. So it makes me happy. So there is changing, slow but sure. Okay, so women tend to be the victims in this country because they consider the easy target, and they consider that if you do this and do that, you consider that attention seeker. So it seems like if something happened to you, oh, just need attention from others. And also some of the women, they turn to be like very naive. They very very proud about, like, I'm having this boyfriends, and the boyfriend come over and blah blah blah, and I met these guys from online chatting, so they're very naive. So these perpetrators use their innocence. And also some of them like off guard, because one of the situation is they feel lonesome and heartbroken. Some of these perpetrators also use that kind of situations. And since they are not ready, what is it, to have another pace of life, but it seems like they still easily to trust other people. And especially when these perpetrators say something nice, say something, you are beautiful and blah blah blah, so they suddenly off guard. It's happening in my students, and also threatens. And some of my students, they not really aware about toxic relationship, and they start thinking that this is a part of the relationship. But when they speak to me about their situations, then I can open their mind that you are become the victim of toxic relationship. So speaking about the education, so if you okay, as you see in these pictures, I also went to different high schools in Bandung. So we have like 37 MOUs with high schools in Bandung, and some of the high schools are very challenging to go in, and some of them are very open. And we talk about a very different issue, and I think I can go. I said, why not? I also teach a younger students to talk about the gender issue. And why not start from high school students, because they start dating with someone, and they also, some of them also become the victims of domestic violence. So it becomes really really interesting right now, since like they are still new about this, and they're not really ready about to handle the situations by sending our law students to their schools. So it opened the communication, so it seems like I can speak about this matter to my older or brother or older sisters. So who is the target of my educations about the genders, and or something like that. So beside the high school students, I also targeted to the poor people, marginalized, low income family. And since 2007, I work with women, children, housewives, inmates, and domestic workers. And I concentrating on women only because I know that I'm a woman, and I have to deal with this kind of situations. I fortunately I have the opportunity to get a better education, so I know I can analyze the situation. But some of other women, they don't have any those opportunity. And how we have to teach our students, yeah. So speaking about gender, speaking about law, it's a very heavy topic. So you must be interactive. It must be fun. Avoiding one-way communication. I use a lot of movies. I use role playing, and then case study. I also active in social media. I think Lauren and Desiree aware about that, because one of the reasons why I'm very active in social media, and I also can watch my students using their own social media. Oh, this is what happening with them. So I can use the terms to get their attention. Like, for example, my students are crazy about BTS. I mean, who doesn't? Yeah, BTS. So it becomes like the world phenomenon. So I use those this kind of what is it, example, and I put it in like certain case and everything, so to make sure they really interested in my subject. And of course it will be easy if they have internet. Yeah, it's accessible to internet. So even though it's offline, I still use the internet because I can easily connect with the things that I need from the internet. And but if I go to the society, usually deep down the village, there is no internet connection, so I use a lot of pictures. But before that, before I sending my students to teach community, they have to make a trial run, and they have to make sure that they choose the right topic and everything. So what we teach about the legal issue. So I teach my student, and my student teach the community. That's the happening. So they have to know the concept of legal aid. It's a brainstorming. They have to know the concept of gender. They have to know the concept of feminism. They have to know about the women's rights. So they have to know about the material overall. And also they have to know about the concept of community teaching. Community teaching is not all about me, but it's about us. Community is about how you understand me, but how we can work together. So you cannot bring your brain as a law student and teach the community, which is like maybe they not get a proper education. So we have to be, at the same level with them, at least the way they think. So it will be easier for them to teach them if they know the community. So they have to choose the community wisely. So usually they have like communication with me. And also they have to prepare the teaching materials and teaching methods and teaching tools. So teaching materials, what kind of regulation that they want to teach with them, and teaching methods, what kind of methods that you are going to teach with them. Are you going to use role playing, the case study, the ranking, or discussion, or probably debate or something like that? So we develop our own teaching methodologies. Different community, different teaching methods. It's very important. And also provide the teaching tools. And the teaching tools is really, really important. And since that our community, yeah, most of them are not really connected with the internet, so we prepare everything physically, and we are not using many material thing. Let's say that you print the pictures and everything from the Google, so it's not costing a lot of money. So make sure that your students know your target. I mean, how can you teach others when you don't know them? Yeah. And when you know them, then you can prepare your language to use. Some of the society, when we teach, they speak our mother tongue language. So English in our country is our third language. So the first is our local language, and the second is Bahasa Indonesia, and the third one is English. And if you go to West Java, so you have to speak Sundanese. They speak Sundanese. So they have to know how to choose the related topics, and they ready to the community teaching, and also they make a report. So the report is not really, really hard. It's more like reflective journal, how they feel about the journey, and how they feel about the community, how they feel about the preparation, and how they feel when they teach the community. So because one of the value or one of the lesson that I want to give to the students is about to, bringing the empathy. So I think that women should support each other. Women should support other women. So in some cultures and countries, being a woman is very challenging. In Indonesia, it's very challenging. Yes, we have law that protect the woman, but culturally, it's very, very challenging. And then it seems like there is no room to, to breathe, to grow, to speak, and to feel safe. um if I, yeah, like I said before, if I very speak up about my values, they consider me as a difficult woman. And then but I still do believe when Nelson Mandela says that by educating a woman you have invested one generation, because usually when women get a proper education, they will teach their children about this as well. And this is my favorite quotes from a very famous people. And the Prophet Muhammad um, said that the best of you are of you, those who are best to the woman. Who said that Islam are very bad to women? No. Maybe they not read all the hadiths and all everything in the Quran correctly. So I'm there's one in I'm sorry, but there's one international meetings that I attended like a couple of years ago. And then one of professors said that he said that I have met a research in one of the Middle East country, and one of the result of the research is that Islam obey the man abuse the woman. And I totally against that, because that's not correct. And minds are like parachute, they only function when they open, yes, of course. And speaking about gender, I cannot speak about this kind of issue if your mind is still closed, and it's useless. So I better like move back. Yeah, I better talk with someone who wants to know about this matter. And then Aristotle said that education the mind, without education the heart is no education at all. So I put all of my heart in teaching, because teaching is the way of life. I mean, I love teaching. I love my students. And so every time I join with Hear My Voice program, and I put something together, either it's from Lauren, from Evelyn, from other participants, and I put this together on my lesson plan, and I also transfer it to my students. So why? Because I don't get enough opportunity from the local colleagues, because yeah, about the cultural things and the religious things and everything. So because I only have 10 minutes to talk, so there will be all I will give another opportunity to other speakers. And I mean, if I have to talk, I don't mind, but I have to stick with the plan, and hopefully that I can see you all in person. Okay, thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you so much, Leni. That was really great. I'll just stop our recording.